Look at mine.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 14 of Screaming into the Void, where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like. And we're going to try this music thing again since I depressed everybody last week. So,
Yeah, thanks, Dick.
Hey, with any luck, you went and listened to some music afterwards.
Why'd you remind me of last week? Now the depression is coming back because I remember the horror of last week.
So, I've got a cure for that, everybody. I have a cure for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hold on just a second. I got to echo. I was on my end. I've got a bunch of shit running right now. Sorry, guys. So, but before we do that, introductions are in order. With me, as always, is Mr. Chow.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth, who is rocking the new camera with, your lighting looks pretty bright there too.
Yeah, let's see what happens when the automatic lights shut off.
Fair enough.
Let's do this right now. Stand by.
Yeah, it's not too bad actually.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's lights off. So
yeah. And then we also have with us, as usual, Kat still hates Galadriel, who has a whole other lighting setup.
Multicolored.
someday I will have that. Today is not that day. Tomorrow's not looking too hot either.
But it's not this day. This day we fight. Sorry,
This day we stream.
Bring it.
All right, welcome everybody. Glad you could join us, and we are again going to be talking about music. So I thought I'd start us off with a piece of music, and hopefully, the channel that owns this piece will not strike us for this. I don't believe they will, but we're going to listen to the whole thing because I think it's awesome. And if they do, then they do.
Nice knowing you.
Yeah, a strike is not a ban. I'm just saying. But all right. Those of you who are not familiar, this is from Friday Night Tights, which is a show on Nerdrotic channel on Fridays. They often have interesting guests. As you can see, Gothix was in this particular one, and Chris Gore from Film Threat and formerly of G4 TV. We'll just get right into it, and maybe we'll talk about the background afterwards. Let me make sure that the volume's good. Okay.
Friday Night Tights! You're about to get frostbitten! Fasten your seatbelts, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. All you geeks and gamers better stop jerking off to me, okay? I smell like burnt hair, Julie, but that isn't stopping you. I talk to you like you're retarded because I think you're all retarded. I see the chat, I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now, jerking off to your girl. Frostbitten! Now press F if you're not jerking off. Frostbitten! Friday Night Tights! Frostbitten! Now press F if you're not jerking off. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl.
Weird.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I'm not qualified. Go ahead. Make my day. Call me Beaver Barbie.
Bitch, you're that goddamn ugly.
I jerked off to the dislike ratio.
I'm not hot to you.
No.
What in the heck did I just walk into?
Wow. People keep confusing me for prepubescent Justin Bieber. Someone in the chat called me Eminem mid-transition. Frost. Now press F if you're not jerking off. Frostbitten. Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. I'm standing up for all the women at G4. Emily, Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Pockets, Scissors, tape dispenser, and filing cabinet. X-ray girl, she is a beautiful young Oriental. X-ray girl,
See me cock. Ask them the price of cock.
X-ray girl, not access for you to stroke the top stick to. You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Pink.
We did go somewhere else.
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord.
It's awesome.
I've seen that about 100 times now, and it makes me giggle every time.
Wait, have you ever seen the NPC song?
I don't think so.
This is done. I think it was done by the Quartering, and it's great. Let me see if I can find it. It's hilarious because it's about. Oh God. Yeah, it's from the Quartering.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
it's all about, the idea about the whole NPCs being, since we're on music,
Okay, yeah, I got it here.
and it's great because it's like, the whole idea of we're NPCs and they have no life and it's also brilliant. But that one is awesome. Can't get over how just great it is.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. So for those of you who don't know, I was talking about it a little bit backstage. The woman who was doing this song is a stand-up comic named Christy Mayer. It's Mayr. And she's pretty damn funny, and her impressions are pretty spot on, I think. She also does Grace Randolph, who's a movie reviewer, and she's just the worst.
Except one thing, she did have the take that Galadriel was the best take on Galadriel, that Galadriel is a Karen and a Mary Sue, which was impressive coming from her.
I mean, that's only because she didn't have John Cena's dick to talk about.
Well, it's because you can't see John Cena's dick. You
Has
can't see
it
John
dick?
Cena.
I thought he was castrated by China.
Yeah. That's fair. I'll give you that.
I was trying not to go there, but I'm a John Cena fan. I know he went all apologetic to China, but I love that guy. He's actually a decent human.
No, I agree. That's why the whole China thing really bothered me. And I even like his commercials where he's like riding on the conveyor belt for the I think it was for the garbage bags. But no, I like John Cena too. That's why the whole thing really
bugged the shit out of you.
Yes.
Hey, the man is entertaining as hell. He is. So's The Rock. I think The Rock's got a bunch of shitty takes too, but he's an entertaining dude. They are. They wouldn't be where they were if they weren't, I don't believe.
It's just when really obviously bend over this much for China.
Yeah, that's where you kind of got to drop a few lines, and it's like, dude.
That was
right.
It's one thing to be a part of the Hollywood machine. It's another to like just push your pants down for China.
Yeah.
Cow
tattling
before.
I'm holding nothing back.
Be grabbing his ankles.
Yes, better way to put it. Grabbing his ankle. Yeah, totally.
Hey, grab some table, John.
There's a pillow. Bite down. Moving on.
But is it My Pillow by Mike Lindell?
Did you see the Babylon Bee ones about the My Pillow, where it's like he's holding up behind the fort of My Pillow?
I did. Yeah, that was pretty funny. It's like the FBI can't figure out how to penetrate the
interlocking
density.
foam.
Yeah, the interlocking foam.
Or no, did you see the one that was like FBI has best night of sleep ever since raid on Mike Lindell?
That is what they really came in for. They wanted my pillow. It is now our pillow. Comrade.
Pillow now has you.
In Mother Russia, you don't have pillow. Pillow has you.
God, I miss Yakov Smirnov. That guy was hilarious.
Yeah, even if his name was Yakov.
I think he's still alive and he's still out there and stuff. He's just not as prominent as he used to be.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he'd be getting up there though, because he was what it was late 80s, I think, when he was in his heyday, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So
hard segue into our music topic. So people that know me know that I'm a huge fan of the band Dropkick Murphys, and yes, don't worry, Sam, I just slapped myself for that one. But I love me some Dropkick Murphys, and I heard this song of theirs today. And does anybody find it annoying as shit that people will have like a birthday month or a birthday week when really it's just a day? They put out this song called HBDMF, and it rips on people that continually whine and plan and say, it's my birthday week, it's my birthday month. No, you're just a wicked, sick, sad, selfish son of a gun. And it's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. I will link it in chat. You will all love it.
Yeah, we will have to. That one we probably will get struck for, so we'll probably put it.
Yeah, that's what I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna link it.
I
Yeah, I
try
don't know.
not to.
I'm not. I'm not. I know you love your punk music, Chow. I never really could get into the Dropkick Murphys, or punk in general, for that matter.
It's
It's
it's the bagpipes, isn't it? I knew it. I knew it. You just can't respect a man who can blow finger and squeeze all at the same time.
that's not the true. That's not true at all, and you know that. No, I like bagpipes just
Yes,
fine.
yes,
I
I
just like
do.
Wait,
traditional
they have
bagpipes.
bagpipes in Dropkick Murphy?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
I
they
gotta listen
do.
to some of their stuff then, because I love the bagpipes.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
Cat. I'll link you some stuff. Like I said, I've been a piper since 2003, so for almost 20 years now, and I love that instrument. 9 notes will change the world.
Totally.
Yeah, as
I
a
mean,
matter of
I
fact,
wish.
we had bagpipes at my wedding,
Yes, you did.
playing a piece called Highland Cathedral,
Yep.
which
I
was
know.
it was pretty. It was. My oldest daughter's teacher was, when she was in grade school, was also a piper, and so we asked her to do that for us, and that was very cool. No, I like bagpipes just fine. I just don't like punk.
Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna give you shit for it one way or another.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I put punk and grunge, and
grunge is awful.
yes, it is. It's shitty garage band music, and in a
Dude,
lot of cases, I think punk is too.
I still think the best thing that ever happened to Dave Grohl was Kurt Cobain getting shot in the face. I'm
Yeah,
not saying who did it. I'm just saying it happened, and that was the best thing to happen to Dave Grohl.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Courtney Love.
Well,
I hate rap. This is gonna horrify people. I hate rap. I think it sounds like people screaming about how their life sucks, or they use drugs, or they want to bang someone, and it's like, okay,
Now,
I
now
don't
see,
find it amusing.
I can agree with you on that. Rap is terrible, but old school hip hop, back when they talked about like actual issues, and I mean they had some really cool stuff, like old school Bone Thugs and Harmony, or
Mhm.
things like that. Oh, they're good because not only could they, I mean,
That's not old
lyrically
school.
speaking, they could spit some stuff out, but melodically speaking, they were fantastic singers.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Bone Thugs was
That's what
actually
I
they were
appreciate about them.
extremely talented at harmonizing.
Oh
Uh,
yes,
but that's not old school, man. When I say old school, I'm talking about the Fat Boys. I'm talking about Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. I mean,
I
back
would say,
when
dude, Bone Thugs came out right around the same time as French Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. They've been around a long time, a
they haven't
long
been around
time.
as long as the Fat Boys.
Wait,
Well,
just
yeah, but still.
a thought just suddenly occurred to me, because all that rap was about like, drugs and all that stuff and what was going on. Do they now sing it, and how, I got arrested and the horrors of their life and how everything's super. Do people now rap about things like, they got my pronoun wrong? I went to work and the name tag had it wrong. My pronoun said she, her. They didn't say they, them. My life is miserable and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
That's getting clipped.
Okay.
That's getting clipped.
So, actually,
maybe
if you want a really good kind of hip hop artist that actually fights back against the establishment, look up a guy named Tom McDonald, and I
Yeah,
can't plug
I
this
know,
guy's music enough. I love him.
Fake
very aware of
woke.
Tom McDonald's music. Yeah,
Oh no, I love it.
The System is my favorite.
Oh, I didn't know he had more.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a couple of years straight. This guy, what, like
And-
four physical albums out, something like that.
Tim has been plugging the crap out of him because after all the, backlash from Tim releasing his single, or not single, but that second song that he put out that wasn't "Will of the People."
That's the only one I know.
The new one's actually pretty good. It's very apolitical, and Tim's actually a pretty decent singer. But when after that reached number 2 and top sales for Billboard, top sales online on the Billboard Top 100, then he started plugging Tom McDonald really hard, because if we can get that pushing back in the counterculture, that will be amazing.
Yeah, the funny thing is, they're like, Tim Pool is drawing people to the right using
Yeah.
non-political music, because that
Yeah.
was his whole plan, to get you to the alt-right using apolitical music.
See, and here's the thing: if you love music, right, you don't necessarily have to agree with the message of lyrics if the music is good. Now, I'm not saying that you obviously if you stand against something, go ahead and stand against it. But my favorite band in the whole world is a Dutch band called Epica. right? And they
Fair
do what's
enough.
called symphonic metal. For those who don't know, I know Chow knows them. Um, and a lot of their music is their lyrics tend to be a little bit more, touchy feely, transcendental, like we're all humans and we're all in the struggle together, kind of stuff, bordering on humanism and communism, which I don't agree with either of those things. The music is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
excellent. They have one of the best female vocalists on earth fronting that band, in my opinion. And I know there are some people out there who say that Flor Jansen from Nightwish is and After Forever and about a half dozen other things is the better singer. And I will grant you that she may be technically the better singer. She may be more technically proficient than Simona Simons from Epica, but she doesn't have the same quality of warmth.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
and I
which,
mean, Flor Jansen, she's great, but
Mhm.
like you said, Simone Simmons is just above and beyond. I mean, she's what Tarja Turunen should have been. You know,
Sure. Sure. Yeah, and I realize for those of you who aren't familiar, we are talking about European bands.
digging in the esoteric
Um,
stuff.
if I, well, it's less esoteric for me because I started listening to this kind of thing in the '90s, and the reason that I will bring up those bands over a lot of modern American music is because I haven't listened to a lot of modern American music for about 15, 20 years.
Right.
Because most of the stuff you hear on the radio is the same canned crap and it's all promoted by the same people and they always promote the same 5 songs in rotation. I mean, even great bands of the past like Leonard Skinner, right? How many of they have a pretty extensive list of tracks, but you only ever hear 5 of them on the radio,
Right.
That's true. So
and so I just stopped listening to American radio. I started listening to other things, and it was the what was it, 1997? I could be wrong about the date, but I think it was 97 or 98. Metallica put out an album called S&M, which is Symphony and Metallica, where they did a bunch of their old tunes with the San Francisco Philharmonic Orchestra.
I thought it was Auckland, but
I'm pretty sure
let
it
me,
was San Francisco.
let me look.
But either way, it changed my view about how metal was because I'd always known that like metal music is constructed and it is structured the same way that classical music is. It activates the same parts of your brain. We've known that for a long time. There's been studies done. This actually opened my eyes to what that meant, and it led me down a path of more and more obscure things in the States, but as it turns out, not so obscure elsewhere in the world kind of thing. So I started listening to bands like Nightwish and then Epica and Within Temptation. Delane was a really good one for a while, although they've recently lost their singer. She's not dead; she just quit.
okay.
uh, and then I got into some really fun stuff. You guys might have heard of a band called Apocalyptica because they did get some American airplay time.
Yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar. It's just
Yeah,
I can barely keep track of the names of the people I work with.
fair
I
enough.
listen to music, but I don't know usually who it's done by.
Well, Apocalyptica started out as 4 guys with cellos doing covers of Metallica songs.
Yep.
Ooh.
That's all
And
they
then
did was Metallica covers.
that was their first album, and their second album had covers from other bands as well as Metallica, like Pantera, Sepultura, that sort of thing. I think they even did a Biohazard song. And then their third album was mostly their own compositions with 2 or 3 different covers. And they've been doing albums ever since. Well, a buddy of mine and his wife got a hold of some tickets to go see them live here in the States. So we went to see them, and the co-headliner, which we had never heard of before, was a progressive. Um, I want to say progressive metal, but the actual term for what they are is Visual K, which is a very Asian term. It's
Not K-pop.
no Kei.
You talking about Darren Gray?
I am talking about Duran Gray. I saw them live. That's how I was introduced to them. And they go to some incredibly dark places musically, but it's just awesome. Which then it led me to start listening to other bands from Japan and from that area, like Muck, for example, or the Gazette. You know, and granted, most of what I listen to is in the metal vein, but I really love me some John Denver. I think John Denver's one of the greatest songwriters we've had. You know,
I'll admit I like Bon Jovi.
I'm good with Bon Jovi. Chow's not, but I'm good with Bon Jovi because, as I've said before, Bon Jovi's like tits.
Everybody
Anybody who says they don't love them is lying.
I mean, his recent song about the coof, that one is really, really cringe, down to even the lyrics. The music is, but the lyrics are just, dude. Yeah. I thought you were supposed to be like rebelling against the machine kind of thing.
Right,
Instead,
right.
it's obey the machine.
Well, that's something that you're gonna have to like come to grips with. Like all of those old guys, the old punks, the old rock stars, and whatnot, who were always against the establishment and all that stuff. Every one of them is shilling for the establishment now. Like even the Twisted Sister. Now I can't remember the guy's name. Chow, help me out. Dee Snider. So Dee Snider has come out, and the guy who wrote "We're Not Gonna Take It" has come out for the establishment. So it is what it is. 7-1. I actually really enjoy classical music too, and opera for that matter. I probably I don't know that piece specifically, but I do like classical. I'm more of a Rachmaninoff and Tchaikovsky guy, but yeah. And then I do like opera quite a bit.
I didn't even know that. I don't know.
Okay. Chow had to drop out. He's having some issues.
YouTube issues.
So he should be back. But
Billy Falcon wrote songs for Bon Jovi. That's interesting. I did not know that. I mean, as I said, I one of the reasons why, like, for example, I love soccer, football, but I don't follow any teams because I have this thing with names and having it really. I mean, there are people I've worked with for years whose names I can't keep straight. It's a thing. So trying to remember, I've listened to a lot of music, but I won't be able to tell you who did it because on top of that, when you're listening to music like at work, where I work, they always have music playing from multiple areas. They don't say who's doing it, though. That song by Adele, the one about where she's like trying to call, that's about stalking. Totally going off on No, well, she's like, I tried to call you. I must have called you like 1,000 times. And it's like, when you start to suspect that someone is ignoring you, it means that it's highly undoubtful that she called 1,000 times. But if you're calling a guy so many times and he doesn't answer and you begin to realize a pattern, that's a little stalkery. Then she also says, like, I'm sorry for breaking your heart. I was like, okay, so what reason would a guy suddenly drop a woman for breaking his heart? She cheated on him. Mm-hmm. She's a cheater. So she's singing this song that at one point was the big craze. It's like about a cheating woman who's stalking on her ex-boyfriend that dumped her for cheating on him.
Well, sometimes the meanings of songs aren't readily apparent. I refer you to Dancing with Myself by Billy Idol.
Yeah, I know that song.
Thou shalt not worship false Billy idols.
Always worship the only Billy Idol.
Yeah, it's a commandment. Thou shalt not worship false Billy idols.
Yeah, but actually, what's funny? Nice, Carrie. Welcome, Fix. What's funny is that there are a lot of songs out there by people about stalkers. Some of them from their perspective, some of them not so much. Sarah McLachlan did one called Possession that was about a series of very threatening letters that she had received. But she wrote it from the letter writer's perspective.
What about Every Song by Sting and the Police?
Right? I'll Be Watching You is one of the creepiest songs ever written.
Listen to Don't Stand So Close to Me. That's pedo stuff. Welcome.
It is. You will need to ask Carrie that. So, but even
Rez,
so,
we're talking about music, Rez. You were summoned. Good. The corpus approve. The corpus are very approving. Thank you.
Well, glad you're here. But yeah, they did that. You know that Possession song, the McLaughlin song, was covered by a couple of other bands pretty well. Evans Blue did kind of a serviceable sort of emo adaptation of it. Typo Negative covered it too.
Yes, and their explanation was they wanted to destroy something beautiful, and they did, and it was amazing.
I would not consider that destruction. I think that they actually made it better.
No, and I get that. I'm just telling you Peter Steele's take on it.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. But which is another great band, and they're American guys. From your neck of the woods, actually, Kat. They're from were they from
Not
the
there's
Bronx,
no.
I think.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's no way they're from New Jersey because nothing comes out of New Jersey.
No, they're from New York City.
See, we're like little New York. We're like
Mhm.
the cheaper New York. Look, when I travel to Egypt and I leave from Newark Airport, and the T-shirts they are selling in Newark Airport, which is in New Jersey. Let me emphasize that point. Newark Airport is in New Jersey, and you have T-shirts that say "I love New York" in New Jersey. You realize that your state is kind of shitty.
Yeah. Hey, Carrie, fuck you.
I will eat your heart.
Yeah, no, that's my fault. I put in the channel description, or the description for the stream. Can't sleep, clowns will eat me.
Oh, there was something. Aqua Teen Hunger Force was set in New Jersey. I did not know that.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Which explains Carl.
I've never watched it. I know Trump
and
is in New
literally
Jersey.
everything else about that show.
Wait, isn't Trump in New Jersey?
Currently, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Ha!
think so.
We have important people. He may not be from New Jersey, but he's here right now and he's ours. So I'm claiming Donald Trump. Sorry.
Oh,
wonder what-
no. Isn't New Jersey the Garden State?
Yeah, except we're also the most densely populated state. So how can we really be? I think when they say the Garden State, they mean like that garden you have out in your backyard. You know, where it's like this small patch of green. It's like then that's what they mean by the Garden State. They don't mean like the whole state is green. They mean like there's a small patch of green. That's the garden. We're like New York's garden, their little backyard garden or their little garden on their balcony kind of thing.
I would wager that they probably got the nickname before the whole thing was paved over.
True, that probably.
You know, I imagine that the actual land that New Jersey is built on was probably pretty once upon a time.
I missed that. I mean, I missed in the sense that I wasn't here for it. No, I was born in New York, so I'm not even really New Jersey. And apparently, I also have a New York accent. People say I sound like I'm from New York.
I don't know. Aren't there different accents depending on which borough and neighborhood you're in?
Yeah, somebody said I sound like I'm from Long Island, which is where I'm from.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess I don't know. I don't know that many Long Islanders, so I just know what I've seen on TV, and that can't possibly be accurate. So,
well, soon Long Island will be its own state.
Yeah, I could see that. My accent's all over the place because I grew up all over the country. I just pick up little idioms and stuff and ways of pronunciations from different places I've been throughout my life, and it's just kind of conglomerated into this mess of an accent that I have now, which is why I say y'all, but I'm not actually from the South. I've lived there.
I would love to go to the South. It sounds like a wonderful free place.
It depends on which part you're in. Some parts are nicer. I mean, politically aside, some parts are definitely nicer than others. Georgia has a lot of. Georgia's not great unless you're really rich, and then you can afford those old houses.
Just stay out of major metro areas down south. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, and Arkansas is Little Rock is it's a nightmare.
Isn't that where Bill Clinton came from, right?
It is. It's also where the band Evanescence came from.
Huh, I did not know that.
Yep. So, garage.
And I spell a lot of stuff like the British do because a lot of people don't know that Egypt uses the British spelling. And I went to school in Egypt for 1 year. And while I was there, I learned how to spell a lot of words the British way. And then when I came back to America, nobody told me. They told me you're spelling it wrong. And I was like, no, I'm sure I'm spelling it right. No one had the decency to tell this 4th grader, you're spelling it the British way. That's why you think it, because I remember in school being told this is how you spell color. And so I just then when I finally found out, I'm like, do it out of rebellion. So I spell like color and theater differently.
I do too, but sometimes when I'm posting things online, Twitter especially, occasionally I'll use the British spelling just to screw with people.
Oh, I like that even better. That's an even better reason.
Put the R before the E in theater. Sometimes I'll add an extra U where we don't use them in the United States.
Color is one of them.
Favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just she's snoring, and sorry, I got a little distracted. She's snoring again.
Fair enough. Yeah. They but that way they don't know where I'm from, and even if I do tell them where I'm from, it still throws them off a little bit because and there's no harm in that. It's just a harmless little thing, but I think it's funny. So
definitely.
But then hell yeah. Bernie, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, so we were talking about music. We're gonna try and stay focused on the topic this week instead of allowing me to wander off on my own and drag everybody else with me.
I can find ways to wander you off. You want to see my new hat? I finally got it.
Did it come?
Finally got it.
Nice.
Yeah. And it even has an American flag on one side. Yeah. I am definitely going to be wearing this thing. I love it. I was going to live stream today and wear the hat, but then I was like, I need to make videos. And so, yeah, we have a topic. We might keep to it. We might not keep to it. You know what? Just because. Totally blow your minds when we keep to topic instead of wandering.
Yeah, shake it up by actually like staying on point.
That's how that's how you shake it up. You stay on point
well, now you've jinxed us.
I love this hat. This hat is awesome.
No, it's a great hat. Need a second flag backwards on the other side. Yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah, no, there's just one on this side here. But I'm proud of it. Definitely going to wear it.
Bernie, it's not so much the rabbit holes because, rabbit holes one thing, and yeah, I could see where, you start at one point, you end up in a place that you really don't want to be. Like, do not, under any circumstances, research Chris Chan. Just putting that out there.
Oh God, no, I know about no.
Yeah, just don't do it. Don't do it, folks. But in this case, it has more to do with tangents and rants and that sort of thing. Which I just realized we're on a tangent now.
I didn't want to think about Christian.
We're always on a tangent.
Yeah. So don't. We're going to move on. No more Chris Chan talk. Sorry I brought it up. Don't look him up. It's not good. Moving on.
Oh my God. There's some human beings that just should be you know what? We need to colonize the moon so that there's some people we could just put there. And leave there.
Child, did you not say last week you were going to keep me on task?
I tried, but it happens.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna take the wheel, but you beat me to it, so I'm just rolling with it now.
Hey.
I'm officially handing it to you.
Oh God.
Oh hell yeah.
Idea.
Okay.
What do we got?
So Kohai Mask is getting us back on point.
Heard of Ailstorm? If not, I should listen to Fucked with an Anchor by the good song.
Fuck you're a fucking wanker. We're gonna punch you right in the balls. Fuck you
cool.
with the fucking anchor. You're all cunts, so fuck you all.
I love that fucking song.
All right, I got it. Once this is over, I'm gonna.
I'll link that in chat too.
Yeah, Ailstorm is great. They're pirate metal,
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
All their songs are about grog, winches, and the high seas. It's awesome.
Okay, that is very awesome. That sounds just ridiculously awesome.
Thank you, Kohai. I mean that sincerely. Thank you. I forgot about that song. It's a great song. It involves a witch doctor and a curse and actually getting fucked with an anchor. Like a whole
Oh,
anchor.
cool. All right, I am definitely looking forward to listening to that one. Definitely. Which I'm learning that the internet is like completely and totally corrupted me as a human being. I used to also not be a very big cursing person.
Hmm.
Oh wait, continue about the moon. I just think that certain people need to be sent to the moon and left there. Just left there.
There you go,
And-
Kat, just for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, is that the link you just put down in the
Yeah,
chat?
the link for
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Awesome.
everybody, when you get a chance, if you haven't heard it, go check out that song. It's hilarious.
Don't blame me when it corrupts your brains.
Hey, look, nothing can crap my brains worse than Rings of Power, which, by the way, here's a little side note. You want to know how much the original Lord of the Rings movies cost? The original, all three of them cost
Less than the show.
Yeah, the original cost $281 million to make all three of them, okay? All three of them, $281 million. Now, in modern day, including inflation, that's $442 million. The new show is 60 million. I think it's either 50 or 60 million dollars an episode. That means it costs less to make the Lord of the Rings movies than it costs to make a season of Rings of Power.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how much they decided to spend on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond ridiculous.
I hear there's not as much walking in Rings of Power, but there is some swimming.
No, there's just a lot of bullshit exposition.
Yeah, oh my god. And the stupidity and the Karen and the just look, I've used this analogy and it's basically like you go into a computer store with thousands of dollars, no limit on what to spend. You buy all the greatest stuff you can, the OLED monitors, the 43-inch monitor, the $500 keyboard, then you go home and you're like, I'm going to be a pro Halo player. And you've never played Halo once, but I'm sorry, a $500 monitor doesn't make a $500 keyboard does not make you a great gamer, and spending $1 billion on a TV series does not make it good.
Yeah, that's true. I was just talking about, to bring it back to music, I was just talking about that very thing today. So y'all know James Taylor, one of the most prolific songwriters in American history.
It was
No.
also on a pile of methadone when he wrote it. Yeah.
Yeah, I whatever. I hate James Taylor. I hate his music. I hate his songs. I hate his stupid voice and his dumbass balding haircut. I just don't like the guy. I never have. Nothing personal, James. If you're listening, but just your music sucks. And I will say this: just because you're a prolific songwriter does not make you a good one.
True.
Right.
You know who else was prolific? L. Ron Hubbard wrote massive mountains of science fiction, most of which is utter garbage.
Yeah.
So I view artists with prolific, discographies the same way as I do actually as the He Who Shall Not Be Named that has a face oh so punchable. He described it to me as thus. All right, take the band 9 Inch Nails. Trent Reznor has more music put out than anybody should have. He's like the L. Ron Hubbard of the industrial music scene. All right.
Sure. And what
you
he didn't write, he produced.
Right, but picture his entire discography like a pie, all right?
Mhm.
And then cut that pie in half and throw half away because it's shit. Okay, take the remaining half, cut that in quarters, and throw a quarter of that away because it's shit.
Mhm.
Take the remaining quarter of the pie that you have, cut that into 16ths,
Mhm.
and take one of those 16ths, and that's really good music. One of those 16ths, and that's okay music, and the rest of it is garbage.
Well, I mean, an even better author example is James Patterson. James Patterson is huge, but at this point, the majority of his books aren't even written by him. They're all the same thing. But at one point, he had to have written good stuff for him to become popular. So that's why what you're saying makes sense, because the first 16th is what they worked on that made them get the attention that made them great. After that, they got lazy, and they're like, oh, well, and they also didn't have the motivation and incentive to put as much energy and effort into something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, by the way, Josh, I did not know about that one. He was in another movie with Seth Rogen at one point where his only line was "fuck Facebook," and then he sang "Fire and Rain."
Wait, just on the topic of Facebook, does anybody remember when Facebook was actually interesting and unique? When it was like you had 2 pages and you could like pin stuff and you can throw toilet paper at people. And I remember there was this one where you could have different little widgets you can clip to your page. So you could have your Goodreads clipped, and it was like almost like a
No.
bulletin board, and then you could like throw toilet paper at people. This was when MySpace was big still, and I remember having this one thing where it's like all these different buttons you collected, and it was just so much more fun and interesting. And now it's just today
Now
I
it's
had
just dumb.
eggs. Yeah, I don't even log on to it, mostly because I'm afraid if I say something stupid, which
I've
I
never
mean
had a
this hat
Facebook
alone will get me banned off of Facebook. I have it because I have an Oculus Quest, and I mean they're telling me you don't need it now, but at one point you had to have a Facebook account to use an Oculus Quest, and I don't want it to become a $200 now $300 paperweight.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I don't. I've never had a Facebook account, so I have no idea what you're talking about for the most part. I think I looked at my friend's MySpace page once on her computer, but I didn't. I've never had any dealings with social media until the last couple of years.
I miss MySpace.
I don't understand how people can keep up with social media. I mean, I got people telling me, why haven't you checked your Instagram? Every now and then I'll get an alert from someone who recognizes me from YouTube, telling me, following me on Instagram. Then there's the whole TikTok thing, which I'm curious to find those. The problem with all these YouTubers who show you those videos from TikTok is you want to find them so you can tell the person that you're a crazy ass lunatic, but it's hard to find them. Then there's the Twitter, which I'll check maybe once a day, twice a day. Then there's the YouTube. Then there's just Getter, Truth Social. It's like, how do people keep up with all of it? Discord. No, you just look me up. I'm like the hijabi gamer. On
Yeah,
Facebook.
she uses the same handle on pretty much everything.
I figured to make it easier at this point. Originally, my handle was Feline Revolution.
Yeah. I don't usually publish it because I mostly just use it for like business contacts and shit posting, mostly shit posting. But if y'all are interested, my Twitter is at hentai surprise. So there you go. It's still got my username is still like Samuel the Infamous, but
Yeah.
it's because I created that before I changed the name to Samuel the Infamous, and I didn't want to start a whole new account. That's usually how it ends up. I've got like all my emails are all switched around too. So,
Yeah, I'm the same. That's why my email is feline.revolution@gmail.com. And my YouTube channel was actually originally called Feline Revolution. Hey, good
for
on you. The only
Good
reason
for
I
you.
have it is because I do live streams with people to keep in contact with the people, like also the Royal Rumble team. They got poor Joker voice on
Yeah.
Twitter.
That's how I got a hold of Kat the first time, and how generally how we maintain contact is through Twitter. So it has its uses. It does, and I'm so happy for you, 7-1. Way to excise a cancer out of your life. Mostly, if I'm not like directly speaking to somebody on there with like the DMs and stuff, I just talk shit directly at POTUS and Justin Trudeau.
I should do that. The only the majority of the things I've posted on Twitter are rants about Rings of Power while I'm watching it. Taking pictures. And yes, I know you can print the screen. Someone actually pointed out, they said, why don't you, there's this button called print screen. Yeah, I'm too lazy. I just pick up my phone and take a picture of it and post it on Twitter. I just wish that the first time I had Twitter, I tried to get banned and I couldn't get banned. Then I deleted it, then I went back again. But originally I tried to get banned. I said things like my cat's farts cure the coof.
That's funny. You ask Kerry how to do it. He's got a lifetime ban from Twitter. So
well, now I don't want to because I needed to contact people. But at the time, I was trying. I said Trump won. I said stuff about Trump. I even said it directly at POTUS.
Yeah,
it didn't
Yeah.
work. I cursed out POTUS.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of shit posting at POTUS lately too, mostly along the lines of like, I know it's just some fucking intern writing these, because it is. But yeah, that's about all it's useful for, is stirring up trouble online. Excuse me. and making new contacts, which I have made a few new contacts that way that I'm grateful for. The hijabi gamer is chief among them, who has joined us here uh, as a member of the. I'm not going to say the squad. That sounds too commie and like Congressy. The I don't know. Help me out here. I mean, Universal Death Squad seems kind of on the nose.
I like that one.
And also, it's an Epica song title.
Though in the mention, though on the topic of the mention of the squad, I wanted to say something that you would probably be very proud of me for doing this. I, on multiple occasions, I haven't done it in a while. I called Ilhan Omar's office and Rashida Tlaib's office. I called them, and I told them that they were embarrassment to Islam and they're horrible politicians and they need to resign and stop embarrassing Muslims with their stupidity. Multiple times I called them on the phone. I never got an answer. I even left my phone number. They never called me back.
Oh, that's
I'm so disappointed.
surprising. I can't believe they would do that.
I know. I thought they cared about diversity and all that other yakip trash.
They only care about it when it suits their agenda.
That's why I think what's her name actually wears a thing on her head that she calls a hijab, just so people be like, "Oh, diversity." Ugh, just no words. Should prove you have skill.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. You're just winning fans over here. You know that, right?
Why? What did I just called them. All I did was call them and tell them that they're I hope they heard the messages though, because
Somebody did, but they probably were shielded from it because that's usually how that goes. Hi, Amanda.
no. But I also called Cory Booker, who's apparently from New Jersey, and cursed him out a couple times, especially over supporting some of the stuff that he did. Phil Murphy on a couple occasions. Oh no, I even called the CDC and wanted to know why we had to cover our faces. And I even told them, I'm like, we know why you're doing this. It's all about control. The person got pissed at me and hung up upon me. I have a problem.
No, that's a good thing, actually. Yeah, you guys, if you want them to take you seriously, you have to actually speak up. You know, you have to get involved. You have to get in their face. You have to remind them that they answer to you. All of you. Except for those of you who are not in the United States. They don't answer to you. Sorry, guys.
They seem to not understand this whole thing about, a constituency. And the fact that, they owe it to their constituency.
Yeah. How do I get... I want her hate. I don't like her at all. I don't like any of them. I'm working on a video right now about why I make YouTube, and primarily it's because I feel. But you know what? One of the other reasons I want to see that there's some sane Muslims out there, since all they ever see is Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. They're creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Squad.
Yeah. So I think 7-1's got the right idea. We'll just borrow Gary's term for it. Fellowship.
I like that.
But we need like a good defining term for the three of us. I don't know, something with alliteration. Help us out, chat.
Yeah, I'm trying to think something like.
I got nothing.
You got me on the spot here. When you put me on the spot, then it's like.
That's why I said help us out, chat.
The MAGA crowd.
I
have MAGA on my head. Obviously, I have MAGA on my head right now.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Don't matter. Eventually, we'll have a theme song too. Assuming I could ever afford to pay somebody to write one for us.
How do they? Yeah, that's one of the things that always amazes me is all these YouTube channels with theme songs. Now, I do have an icon thingy. I just have to figure out how to get it to fit by banner, but it's really cool. But they have music, and how do they do this stuff? The mouse. No, that is an insult as a feline supporter. I can't. I support. No, I have someone who comes on my YouTube channel and tells me how they support the feline, the mouse nation. I agree. I fully support the mouse nation.
You're full, meine Maus.
Cats need food. No, cats need food.
The mouse skaters.
Moo skaters.
Moose skaters.
Wait. Ooh, there she is.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, at some point we'll get some music on here. Generally, how that works is you find somebody who's good at composing and you pay them to compose something. A lot of people with their PFPs and their avatars and stuff will either do what I did and find something that's royalty free, which is why I actually would like to get something done custom, because that way it's mine. I've paid for it. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about anything with this either, but I didn't do this piece of art. And so, but generally they'll have another YouTuber or somebody else on the internet do a piece of commission work for them. Kind of thing. But depending on who you get, depends on their rates and all that stuff. And if you want like really quality work, it's generally going to cost a little more.
If anybody needs icons, the person like the image JT, I recommend him. He made mine, which I have not. Like I said, I'm trying to fit it to the banner. It looks really, really good. I mean, it's creepy how well he did it, because it's almost like he reached into my brain and created an image that I didn't even know I needed until I saw it. And the moment I saw it, I realized I definitely needed it.
Okay. I got one. Samuel's seismic shit talkers. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna throw my name into it, I'd like to probably keep the theme of cosmic horror going.
Okay. Shoggoth seismic shit talkers.
I'm thinking something Cthulhu related. Or Warhammer 40k Into the Void, Slanesh and all those horrific gods of, horror that I'm sure, though honestly, I think Slanesh would look at our world and go, you guys are going a little too far. But that's me with I love Warhammer 40k.
I'm pretty sure aliens lock the door when they fly by Earth. Like, yeah, we're not stopping there. We don't talk about that planet.
They're crazy there.
Actually, 7-1, the art in the background is not art. That is a photograph from the now I can't remember the name of it. The new Deep Space Telescope, the James Webb Scope. That is a photograph of the Phantom Galaxy, which, to my eye, kind of looks a little bit like Azathoth.
Wait, that's an actual photograph?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy of it.
1 sec. Okay, I think I might have a guest. Briefly. She's coming over here.
Oh.
There she is.
I like that, actually. Voiders.
Come over here.
Voiders.
I'm slowly training her.
Amira's got her pride. A lot of other streams have nicknames for their chats. How about Voiders?
Voices from the void.
I like it.
Yeah.
Here she is. Other way.
No, I do like that. Yeah, I think so too. It's the bright blue center of it that makes me think of the eye of the dreaming demon sultan.
Wait a minute. So he wasn't talking about Buster as being very beautiful.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yes, Buster, you're very beautiful.
Pretty for a cat.
For a lap-sized death machine.
Yeah.
Oh, she's big too. She's she's a really big cat, and I'm not talking fat. I'm talking, she's big, like really unusually big for a cat of her type.
Just like you're saying, proportionally big.
Well, she's like long, she's like 2 feet long. She just spreading out. She's a big cat. Not just like people when they hear big cat, they think she's fat. No, she when she spreads out, she's as long as my leg. Everyone's like, oh, I was like, I have a big cat. They're like, oh, she must be fat. No, Buster is huge. She's supposed to weigh around 12.5 pounds normally, and normally a female cat of her type is 8 to 10 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they start getting that big, I start thinking bobcat.
Yeah, that's why I call her my demon tabby.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it looks like 7-1 meant the Phantom Galaxy, but also, yeah, sure, the cat.
She's a girl. She likes to be appreciated for her prettiness and beauty.
Yeah, cats don't actually.
Yeah, no, true. Okay, fine. I appreciate it as a woman. I'm not one of those women who go, "Oh my God, the guy said I was pretty. I'm now a victim and I'm traumatized by that horrible experience of being told by a guy that I'm pretty." Or the guy who holds the door. I like the man who opens the door for me and holds the door for me. I like some of that chivalry. So, unlike all these crazy ass lunatic feminists these days who go, "Oh, did you see that? The man held the door open for her. How dare he?" Me, I'm like, "Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Very nice of you."
I hold the door open for people all the time, men, women, children.
Same.
Sometimes I get stuck at the door and a bunch of people go through it, and it's a while before I can let go of the stupid thing. Otherwise, I'll hit somebody in the face with it. And if it goes on long enough, I just start getting inclined to hit somebody in the face with it.
I'm just saying because I've heard stories of people who are like, "Oh my God, the man held the door open for a woman." The horror, and I'm like, "What's wrong with you? That's called chivalry." I mean, I don't know. I'm old-fashioned, all right? I posted already on Twitter. Yeah. I'm a strong, independent woman who wants the love of a man. Sorry,
sorry about that cough there, folks. Hairball.
Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing like it. Hairball's like.
Yeah, you didn't hear me after I muted.
Oh, okay.
It was rough. A little bit of lung butter.
And then 2 years later, we find out Thug McCoy's like, "I'm sorry, I missed 3 weeks worth of live streams. I was holding the door open, and they would not stop coming."
Right? They don't like if the whole town senses it. Oh my God, somebody's holding the door open. Let's all rush that door at the same time. It's like I'll be off minding my own business on the other side of town, puttering around in the garden or whatever. But it's that sense that where the hairs on your back of your neck, they raise up and they tell you someone's holding the door open somewhere. Must take advantage of. I'm of course always the guy holding the damn door.
It's sort of like how they can tell when it's the last item in stock in a store when you're doing customer orders. And it's like you have 50 of the pink one, but for some reason they want the light blue. And it's like the one that's the last one. And it always is the last one in the entire store. And you're like, why? How did you know it was the last one? You want the gray and not the black? Who cares?
Yeah. So, speaking of store stuff, and on our topic here, I am trying really hard today, folks, to keep myself on point. It is hard for me. But when was the last time any of you guys went to? And by the way, if anybody's wondering, Chow's having some trouble with his computer. He should be back as soon as it's up again.
I find hammers work.
That's not going to solve this problem. In fact, I'd wager that would make it worse.
Wait, so you were saying stores?
When was the last time you went into a store and bought a record?
I don't have a record player, but I work in a store that sells records.
Well, record, album, CD, tape, whatever. But I mean, like a physical copy.
I got Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis on DVD recently, and I have on order coming in the mail Steel Rising, the physical copy of a video game.
Sure, but we're talking music here. When was the last time you went to like a music store, like a Blockbuster Music or something? I realize those aren't around anymore, but yeah, and bought a CD.
The problem is most computers don't even have CD drives anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could buy a separate CD drive, but it's a pain in the rear. Even laptops don't come with CD drives.
Man, that's gross. So, yeah, that is true. You can still find CD players though. Hell, my car's got one. It's got an old school 6 CD changer in the trunk.
And you could buy I mean, you could also buy them for computers. I have one in
Right.
here, a removable, like, portable one. But the fact that most computers don't even come with them means you have to buy a separate device.
Yeah.
Buy, like $3,500 desktop doesn't have a CD drive.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of sad. As much as a lot of the record store kind of music store stuff, a lot of that contributed to the downfall of certain things, just generally speaking, just the culture around it, not the music itself. Um, but that aside, I kind of miss going to a store and like just browsing through until I find something I like, or think I might like. I miss doing that. I miss doing that with videos. I miss doing that with games. I miss going to physical places and physically browsing and shopping. Everything's done online now. Everything's like you get your MP4s and you get your MP3s and your video files and all that stuff. Everything's digitized now, and I think that's sad. I think we've lost something.
Well, I mean, to expand on that, we don't even go into stores anymore, which is something with the
Yeah.
holiday season coming around. Remember when it used to be, I mean, when I was a kid, look, I didn't celebrate Christmas, but we used to love to go to the mall and look at the Christmas decorations and walk around the mall around Christmas and see everything going on. Now, people don't even go into the store to browse for gifts. And it's like, you just sit in front of your computer and buy everything online. And
No, 7-1, you bring up a great point. I used to go to Blockbuster after work. There was one catty corner from where I worked for years, and I would go in there and I would browse their VHS sections because they started putting all of their VHS on extreme discounts because they were trying to change their whole inventory over to DVDs at the time. I collected so many great movies on VHS for cheap doing that. Just going to Blockbuster. I'd go in there, I'd spend $8, walk out with 4 movies.
And
You know?
VHS actually is better. When I worked at the library,
Mhm.
we were switching out from VHS to DVD, and I used to hate that. I used to push for keeping the VHS because the VHS actually lasted, whereas the DVDs were gone within a couple of viewerships because apparently people played frisbee with them with their dogs.
Okay,
That's my
yeah,
theory.
when CDs first came out, before they got to the DVD compression, my dad brought home the first CD he ever bought because they were brand new, mind you. He didn't even have a player for it yet. And he came home to show everybody. He's like, "Oh, look at this great new thing," because he was always like really into the razor's edge of technology,
Mm-hmm.
And he came home and he's like, "Look at these things; they're great. Look how shiny that is. This has all the music that whole tape has on it. All of it's right here. It's they're durable." And he starts bending the damn thing,
Oh
and then
no!
he's like, "And look how tough they are." And he flings it across the room, and it hit the wall and shattered. and I was like 8 years old at the time. But you know what? Regarding the durability of things, VHS, you're right. They do last. I still have the very first VHS tape my dad ever bought me. I was 7 years old in an Alco in Nebraska, and it was an impulse buy at the checkout line. It was Creature from the Black Lagoon, and it still plays like I just bought it to this day.
Nice.
And that's what, and they wanted to replace them, and I kept saying no. And the ones that lasted the most were the VHS. It's
Yeah, I still have a working VHS player, working
I think
VCR.
we do too. We have a VHS Blu-ray player, so it's like VHS DVD player. No, the thing is what you said about how it's changing how things go. Video games, right? Computer games, when you buy them in the store, it's a box with a code.
Yeah.
Did you know there's no video game in the box? You're literally buying a code in a box. It's so ridiculously pointless.
Yep. Well, there's a point to it, but it doesn't benefit the player.
Having just an empty box?
No, the whole digitizing everything. What that does is it benefits the manufacturers. They can alter things or take it away on a whim. You're really just renting the license to use it.
But on top of that, when you really think about it, if AAA, at least with video games, not with music has one advantage. You have multiple sources of buying the music from. If I want to buy Tim Pool's music, I don't have to go just through Apple. I can find multiple places to get it. So they could change the price. But with video games, if they were to get rid of physical copies, one of the things I've noticed is often physical copies of the same video game will be cheaper because the store doesn't eventually want to move the inventory. They have to use space for the physical copy. So whereas the digital, they can keep it at full price for however long they want. Can you imagine when they finally eliminate physical copies? Sony is the only place you can buy games for PlayStation. Microsoft is the only place for Xbox. So if you want a PlayStation copy of a certain game, you can only get, and it's only available on digital. There's no competition. They'll keep it at full price for forever. Whereas when you have a physical copy, not only do stores want to get rid of the inventory, you have Amazon competing with Walmart, competing with Target, competing with Best Buy. So when Cyberpunk 2077, who has the better deal? To me, it's forming a monopoly almost, and it's really bad for gamers in the long run. But everyone,
Sure, it is bad for gamers, but it's great for the companies. And that's their concern is what's great for the companies. They've forgotten that the first rule of business is that the customer is always right. And the reason for that is because if you keep your customer happy, you get them loyal. And if they're loyal, they keep buying shit from you, which helps your bottom line.
which is a message that Hollywood does not seem to understand, that you're supposed to keep your customer happy. Instead, it seems that they think they can threaten and insult you to do what they want instead.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're 100% out of touch.
No. You know what? Because I work in retail and I'm not that stupid and I get paid a fraction of what they get paid. If I had the common sense to know not to insult the goddamn customer, some multi-millionaire working for Hollywood clearly should have more common sense than even me.
But they don't, though, Kat. They don't. They're disconnected from the way everyone else lives. Totally disconnected from it. I mean, the shit that those people do with their lives, right? A normal, regular working class person would never even consider, because it's like the crazy shit that somebody who's totally bored and has too much money and time on their hands would do.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how great your product is, if you start...
I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched it, but...
You don't want to watch it. I haven't watched it either, but everything I've heard about it... Wait, so what then would you... Thug McCoy, what would you call the Rings of Power then? Because I need some good description for that. Fallout 3 Plus? Wait, Fallout 3? That's a video game.
Yeah, he's a big Fallout guy.
Oh, I love Fallout.
He's saying Fallout 3 and up is porn and She-Hulk is gay porn. That's the comparison he's making.
Yeah, Rings of Power is just a train wreck.
Yeah. Though Fallout 4 had some issues with this. The writing was a little weird in certain places, and the story was kind of lackluster. The main story.
The fact... Okay, you guys are... I mean... You find out
like
your
70s full bush porn. Is that what you're saying?
You find out that your kid has been kidnapped. All right, you get frozen. You wake up. You see your kid getting kidnapped. Then you get frozen. You don't realize how much time has passed. So as far as you're concerned, it's been only a day or two. Don't you think the first thing you're going to do is go and try and find your kid? Instead, you spend half the game running around forgetting that your kid has been kidnapped. Most fathers would come out of that and be like, oh my God, my kid. I have to find my kid. I don't care about what you're doing in the wasteland. I want my kid. Oh, shut up. I don't care about the Minutemen. I don't care about the Brotherhood of Steel. I don't care. Where's my kid? Your first goal would be to find your kid. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. And I always play as Nate because, I mean, come on, in the wasteland, who would survive better, a lawyer or a kick butt former military guy? Just saying.
Yeah.
But that's what doesn't make sense about the story. Most fathers would be like, where's my kid? I want my kid. Where's my kid? I don't care about your class.
That's so much worse. So much worse.
What? No, that's not worse.
All faded and grainy.
No, nothing's worse than Rings of Power.
No, he's saying that this is what Rings of Power is.
And I'm saying no, worse. Rings of Power's just too bad even for that.
That's worse than 70s. Oh, yeah. He got me. All right, moving on from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was one of the hangups that I had with 4 was the fact that like, shouldn't you be like out looking for your kid, not helping these guys set up a base of power so you can go fuck those guys over and take their resources?
That's what
You
took
know,
me out of it.
but I had a lot that was going on for it that I really liked, and visually it was great.
Mm.
I also really enjoyed the nasty surprise I got the very first time I ran into a suicide super mutant. The ones with the nukes strapped to their chests.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
know. I don't want to know what he knows. I'm afraid to find out what he knows.
Yeah, no, you really don't. But they'd like, you'd start shooting at their buddies, and so they just come charging at you. Didn't even have a super sledge in their hands, and they're just like, ah, and you're just like, oh, whatever, I'll shrug it off. I'm wearing my power armor, and then they'd explode in your face, and you'd be like, okay, this wasn't so bad, and then the radiation just starts chipping at your health.
Hey, the first thing you do when you start that game, which blew my mind, was you fight a death claw, which I had never played any Fallout games before. So all of a sudden, after doing that whole museum thing, and you meet what's his name, and then you have to fight a death claw, and I'm like hiding in the church trying to shoot at the thing, and things following me, and it's just even with the power armor, it was an interesting fight.
Yeah, you got to get the minigun off of the downed
Hell,
atoll.
the thing is, I didn't realize just how. So I wasted the ammo the first time I did it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh wait a minute, I should be using it on the death claw.
Yeah,
Because I didn't know what a death claw was.
So as you know, Chow and I play a fair amount of Monster Hunter. And one of the things that you do in Monster Hunter is you damage parts of the monsters and you get specific rewards depending on the parts that are damaged. One of the most common things to do is to cut their tail off, right? And then you can carve their tail for extra rewards and maybe get some extra rewards once the mission's over and that sort of thing. So I was playing Fallout 4 and I'm just like laying into that Deathclaw with the minigun, right? Just laying into him and his tail comes off. So I took a screenshot of that and sent it to Chow. I was like, tailed it.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
That was pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
That is definitely cool.
Our other buddy, I sent it to him too, and he goes, "Did you at least get a ruby out of it, or a plate, or something?" Which is some of the rewards you would normally get. Well, they're not though. They're extremely low drop. Normally, it's tail or whatever. But if you get a ruby, that's a huge rare drop. And I said, what I got was not dead out of it.
That's a very, very good reward.
Well, this one did, and it came right off. It was right next to his body.
I have to play Monster Hunter World. Everyone is telling me. I have a massive backlog of games that people keep telling me I have to play. The problem is I work in retail, so I pick up games on sale. And so I end up with too many games. On top of that, I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTube channels who review games. So no one has even heard of this game, Steel Rising. But the few YouTubers who reviewed it were like, this is a great game. You have to play it. Damn it, I don't need to play it. But now I want to play it because it looks really, really cool.
See, that just makes me think of that weird little spin-off Metal Gear game.
Apparently,
Revengeance?
Yeah.
I think
that one.
Vengeance sounds vaguely familiar. No, this one it takes place. I think it's like a steampunk, and you play as a robot, and it looks like it just looks cool. With a lot of I like my video games with action, preferably a lot of shooting, but I'll go with swords if it's something like God of War, which is awesome. God of War is awesome. I'm playing Guild Wars 2 a lot.
Oh, that reminds me. On that the Royal Rumble stream you were on last night, they were telling you to skip God of War 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I would disagree because 1, 2, and 3 are a single story.
Okay.
I would say play through all of those. Now you can probably skip the DLC, or not the DLC, but the PSP games. There were 2 of them. Both of them were prequels. One of them was about how Ares got a hold of you in the first place. The reason he's got the chains on his arms and the Hellblades.
I know.
It was cursed by Ares to be his servant. So you play through how he got those, and then there was another side story, but neither of those are necessary to understand the gist of the game.
Well, I'll see what they have on the PlayStation Store because I know that PS4 has a lot of games that are backwards compatible. I think with the PS3, I'm not 100% sure because honestly, Xbox is a lot harder to live stream than PlayStation, so I tend to play a lot more Xbox. But I do have, so to give you an idea, I put my games out of Desire for Space. This is my PlayStation 4 game library.
Mm.
And most of these I still haven't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I have a couple that I haven't finished, but most of the ones I have are on the drive too. I don't have physical copies of all of them. I wish I did.
Well,
You know.
see, I got very lucky when I first got my PS4. The store I work in was getting rid of their pre-owned games. So first of all, I have like 100. No, I'm more like 50 Xbox 360 and PS3 games because those were selling for like $2 each. So I ended up those I haven't even played because I ended up with a massive. And then there was a bunch of PS4 games as well. So I ended up with a massive PS4. That's why I have like Bloodborne and some other odd titles because they were pre-owned games that we were trying to get rid of. So that's why I also have such a large library of unplayed games because I just they were really really cheap. So it's like that. Why not? 5 or 6 games for $10. Sure, why not? I have this though. I haven't played it yet. The God of War 3 remastered.
Right. See, and that's arguably the best of the games, but it's a culmination of everything that happened in the first two. Like the beginning of God of War 3 starts literally seconds after 2 ends.
Okay. Well, I'll be to look on PlayStation then online. I hate to go with the digital, but I'll see if I can find a digital copy of it just so I can play it on my PlayStation 4 or my PS5. I'll see, with that whole PlayStation Premium, maybe they have it. I'm really liking God of War. Like, I really, really like it. And I find it hilarious that people are like, no, you don't want to play that. I'm like, why not? They're like, it's violent. So I like Doom and Doom Eternal. I love Doom. I absolutely love Doom, the 2016 game. Love it. Love it. I played it, first time I played it on Switch, I was in Egypt and just could not put it down. And it's not easy to play on Switch. It's the teeny tiny screen.
Yeah, give me just a second. Chow is having some issues. He's texting.
That's what I figured, he's having issues.
Yeah, he thinks it's his SSD drive. But he is working on the problem, so he will be with us when he is with us. I have not done a lot with a lot of this game. I think like my entire like PS4 physical collection is like Fallout 4, Soul Calibur 6, Bloodborne.
That's a fighting game, right?
Arkham Knight.
Everyone's telling me I have to play the Batman games. I love Batman. The
Yeah.
problem is I'm a comic book purist. So but they're like, no, you have to play the Batman games. They're really good. I've also never seen the movies.
I would say yes. I have never finished Arkham Knight, but I have. But I would say Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, definitely they're excellent.
I have also not seen the movies, the ones Dark Knight Rising, whatever, because I read Nightfall and Bane is a phenomenal. I mean, I read the novel that Nightfall had.
I will say that Tom Hardy's Bane is a lot closer to that Bane than we're back.
Sort of. See how long it holds up this time.
Yeah. Is a lot closer to the Nightfall Bane than the one in Batman and Robin was.
Oh yeah, the one in Batman and Robin was horrible. That was because Bane is a brilliant, deep character, especially if you read the novel and you find out how he was a child born in prison, and
and they do kind of bastardize his backstory a little bit in The Dark Knight Rises. The performance was good though,
and he was also like a genius, and how he figures out who Batman is, and it's just so people are like, you have to watch the movies; they're really, really good. But I really like the comics. I mean, even the fact that Alfred doesn't have a signature mustache kind of pisses me off.
Did you see that comment I left yesterday about Tim Drake?
No, what did you? I missed it. I don't get all
So,
the alerts sometimes.
Joker Voice was talking about how Jason Todd got off easy, and
Yeah.
so I left a comment that said Jason Todd got off easy. Tim Drake just gets off.
What they did to Tim Drake is horrible.
For those of you out there who do not read comic books, quick recap: the third Robin, Tim Drake, has come out for no reason in particular after like 28
30.
years of something like that, of dating the same woman, and decided he's quote unquote bisexual, which in comic book terms means he's never going to date a woman again. So he's gay.
And
Yeah.
you do not want to make a YouTube video about that, because people will come onto your comment section and write 5 paragraphs about, first of all, how gay is not bi and bi is not gay. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, you could clip this. I don't care.
No,
Tim Drake,
and they're not wrong. It's not the same thing. But in comic book terminology, if they
yeah.
say they're a bisexual person, you will never see them with the opposite sex again.
And Tim Drake is one of my favorite Robins, because I got into Batman when Tim Drake was Robin, and I really liked him because most of the Robins before him were orphans whereas Tim Drake, at least up until a point, had both of his parents, so that added a different, unique perspective to him. The fact that his family was wealthy also gave him a unique and different perspective than the other ones. I love Dick Grayson, and I love Nightwing, and when I was reading Batman, he was Nightwing, so I loved him as Nightwing. But so to see them come in and change Tim Drake, and I love the relationship between him and Stephanie Brown, and to have them come in and change it, and then to have people come onto my comment, literally, I'm not making it up, paragraph upon paragraph about paragraph about how I'm wrong and how I'm a phobe and an ist. And you know what? The thing is, I also made sure when I made that video that I pointed out I wouldn't want Tim Drake to be Muslim either. And honestly, making Tim Drake a Muslim would actually make more sense than what they did. Because you can't just randomly go, oh, I'm no longer straight, I'm bi. Whereas you can easily switch your religion. It isn't that hard.
You know where it gets sticky, and the reason that you're dead on about that is that because Tim could convert to Islam.
Yes.
But these are the same people who keep telling us that gay is not a choice. You're born that way.
Yes.
So he couldn't just be bisexual one day. He couldn't just be gay one day. He couldn't just be anything other than straight one day if he's been straight his whole fucking life. Because I was told it wasn't a choice.
But then this goes into the whole, and I was working on a video about it, and I haven't finished, about how you have to see yourself on screen or in the comic book, or you need to see what you need to see yourself in something in order to connect and relate to it. And I recorded it like 5 times and deleted it every time, where I'm putting out that one of my favorite characters is a straight white male, that I've created like a dozen characters and all of them are guys. Just what they did. Tim Drake is my favorite, and I really am unhappy, and I'm tired of it. And these people don't even understand what the Batman comic books are about. They don't understand that people don't really go into the Batman going, I want to see who is Batman dating. I want 20 pages about Tim Drake going on a date. I don't care. I want to see Tim Drake being Robin. And
yeah, that's true. And they I don't know. It's like that with all this stuff. That's part of why I stopped buying comic books. All of the comic books that I love, I already have copies of. So I just, I'm not really interested in new stuff. And like we were talking backstage earlier, and 7-1 brings it up here. Rippaverse does look promising. I'm just not interested in new characters anymore. I haven't been for some time, and that's not Eric July's fault at all. It's got nothing to do with him. It's just I'm not looking to get into new stuff anymore. The two companies that he's constantly shitting on about, Marvel and DC, kind of killed that love of comic books in me. So when I read stuff, I go back. I go way back, and I read stuff that I loved when I was young. I don't move on to new stuff anymore. I do wish him the best of luck, actually, and it seems like he's well on his way to being a force to be reckoned with in that industry, and I hope he stomps the shit out of him. But it's not for me, you know.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And I get it. What DC and Marvel are doing. I used to love because I couldn't afford it. I only have read a few DC comics. I primarily focused on Batman, and I loved the Cataclysm. What got me into Batman comics was the Cataclysm storyline, which is the earthquake that hit
Yeah.
Gotham. I love that. And then
Yeah.
No Man's Land. I love that. And then I got into Nightfall.
So
And
you missed Contagion then.
no, then I went back and I read
Okay.
Contagion, and I loved Contagion.
Yeah,
And
because
then later,
everything that happens in Contagion leads up to Cataclysm, which then leads into No Man's Land.
which I do about, like I said, I read Cataclysm, then No Man's Land. I read the novelization of No Man's Land. But then I didn't know that until I read Contagion. So I had to read Contagion. So that's why I read Contagion. But now I don't have physical copies of that stuff. I need to get because I had, and then a while back, log stuff happened and I had to sell them. I want to go back and I want to get Contagion, No Man's Land, Cataclysm, Nightfall. I want to get physical copies because that stuff is love that stuff. And now there's nothing. And honestly, I hope they go out. I hope they go down. I truly hope at this point that DC and Marvel just because they're just, I don't understand how they can't figure it out. I mean, how many times do you need Marvel did exactly what is now killing DC. You'd think they would know better than to be this dumb and blind and not realize what they're doing wrong. But no, they keep now what I think Batman, they want to make Batman buy too. Well,
It's all I got to fit the message.
well,
So, hey, guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I got to take off. The boss needs me for some stuff, but thanks for having me this week, and hopefully I can get a new laptop soon.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, and we will see you next week.
yeah, I'm sorry about the trouble you're having with your computer.
Yeah,
Any,
it blows.
Any plugging before you go?
No, just keep following Samuel's whispering into the void because it's some pretty interesting topics. Make sure you follow Kat, and I'll catch y'all next week.
All right.
Good night, sir.
Have a good night.
Best of luck, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. See ya, Carrie.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna forever call you Thug McCoy. Sorry, that is just by far one of my favorites now. Thug McCoy. McCoy is just love McCoy, especially since I was at one point a pre-med person. So McCoy was my favorite.
Yeah, McCoy's pretty cool. You know what's funny? Speaking of Star Trek, so I have never seen the Orville, right?
I haven't either.
So the other day, I ended up picking up Hulu because I wanted to check out that shitty Prey movie, and as it turns out, it wasn't great. It was okay. It just wasn't, worth writing home about. It was something that I saw that I don't hate. As it turns out, they have the entirety of the show The Orville on there, along with the X-Files, which you and I both love.
Yes.
Which is the reason I kept Hulu, by the way, is the X-Files. So I started watching The Orville the other day, and I was thinking it was just going to be some goofy parody comedy. I know that Seth MacFarlane started making that show because he wanted to do Star Trek, and they wouldn't greenlight him for an actual Star Trek show. So he started doing this instead. I thought it was just a comedy. It's not. It's got some really heavy topics and some excellent episodes. I was really pleasantly surprised by this. I'm not quite through the first season yet, but there have been 2 episodes in my mind that just stand out as I mean, they could compete with the very best of Star Trek.
Huh. I wonder if there's physical copies available because I know Hulu is very expensive. Isn't it? It's like over $100 or something a month or something.
Hulu? No,
Yeah.
it's $100 a month. Where are you getting that figure from?
I don't know. I just for some reason I thought that Hulu was one of the most.
I'm paying like $20 for no commercials.
Huh.
Yeah, it's not that expensive. I mean, it's it's streaming network expensive. It's not like it's super cheap, and after you get a bunch of them, that does add up to like a huge cable bill. But
yeah,
but by itself, no, it's not. And if you go for the cheaper option, I think you can get it for like somewhere between $5 and $7, but you have to watch commercials.
Huh. Okay.
That you can't skip.
Though I'll say I get some of the weirdest commercials on YouTube at this point that make me wonder, like, why am I getting commercials for Pampers? Trust me, if I'm pregnant, that would be a literal miracle. So why am I getting commercials for Pampers? Makeup, I don't. I've never bought makeup ever. Some of the drugs that I get commercials for kind of make me wonder and are worried what YouTube thinks about me, like antipsychotic.
Congratulations, you fucked up their algorithms.
I must have, because I get AIDS medication commercials. They said diapers. Seriously, politicians that aren't even in my state. Every now and then I'll get Josh Gottheimer, which, dear God, if I get one more goddamn Josh Gottheimer ad, I'm gonna call him and start cursing him out. AIDS medication. AIDS medication. If I have no, I've never had a blood transfusion. No.
Yeah, I bet that stuff goes for a pretty penny on the street. Just saying. I mean, I didn't say anything like that.
I have no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, moving on. Yeah, no, that's weird. I don't know. I don't see ads, so we sprung for the premium on the family plan. So yeah, we don't see ads. So they're there, but I never see them. So I have no idea what they are.
I was actually planning on making a YouTube video where I was going to spend the whole day playing YouTube videos and making a list of all the ads I get, just so I could be like, I get ads for beer and wine. My account is the hijabi gamer, the Muslim game. Why are you advertising to a goddamn Muslim alcohol?
Yeah,
I get advertisements for beef jerky, pork jerky.
Probably that has to do with the fact that they don't know the first fucking thing about Muslims in the first place. You gotta keep in mind these are dumb computers. Computers only know what you tell them.
It's just the weird combination of age, major depression disorder, or whatever it is, I don't know, something about depression disorder. I seem to get ads for that. I get just, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, like, I started getting mail from the AARP when I was like as soon as I turned 25. Which is 40 some odd years away from retirement age, right? Yeah. So I started getting mail from those fuckers around then. So I just ignore it, because clearly they didn't do their homework. So why should I?
Yeah. I'll say this though, in my YouTube, when my videos are monetized, I will not. Now, if you get non-clickable ads, that's not me. I know YouTube does their own thing sometimes, but because I hate non-skippable ads, every video I put, and the only reason I primarily monetize my videos is because I know that if I don't, they don't get noticed as much.
Mhm.
So even when I don't, I do it because I want them to get noticed. But one key rule I have, I will not put non-skippable ads. Now, if they show up, that's not me, that's YouTube. But I hate non-skippable ads. There were these ads I got for deodorant where they had this large woman dancing and showing off her pits. No.
I mean, yuck.
Yeah, her and she was jiggly. And it was no.
Yeah, no, I stand by my initial statement.
I'm glad I messed up their algorithm.
Yeah, no, you must have, because they're sending you crap that doesn't apply. Most of the time, they're a little too accurate with people, which implies that they're watching even when you're offline.
Yeah.
Which we know they're doing, by the way. That's not a surprise or a conspiracy or anything like that. We know for a fact that they're doing that shit. Was it like last week, Facebook came out and said that they were spying on private messages between users.
Oh yeah, and they were going against Trump people, and how dare you, and even I think they were releasing stuff to the government too about people who were questioning certain events that.
Well, Gary's right. If a corporation starts doing the government's job for them, then they are the government.
Well, I don't have Facebook on my phone.
That's fascism.
Yes. No, it's terrifying. And Why aren't we getting more coverage about it? People are talking, you know.
Well, that's because they want you to think that fascism is this whole other thing that it has nothing to do with.
It's fine divided the Fourth Amendment.
It's classic misdirection. It's like, hey, look at this hand over here. See, it's doing all this funny shit, and you just can't. You're just paying attention to this hand and not the knife in my other one. Oh, we got hey, Shadow of Hawk, welcome. Yeah, you were a hilarious contributor to the chat over at Royal Rumble. I'm glad to see you.
He's awesome. He also he was tormenting me. He killed off my character. He killed my character in D&D at one point. We brought my character back, but we were carrying my character around in a bucket. The remains of my character were in a bucket. Never gonna forget that. The other one is how you wanted me to have Kai have his spine ripped out and replaced. Because one of my characters, his back was broken in a fight with 4 giant hyena robots. And his response was to remove his spine while he was conscious.
Okay, so hold on. What I'm taking away from this story is that somebody decided to make robots that looked like giant hyenas.
Yeah, they're called the Hyena Pack in Warframe. They exist. I don't understand why they don't have dinosaur robots, and I personally am pushing for. And if you guys are willing to contact at Play Warframe, and tell them to make dinosaur robots. You did the Kai thing. One of these days, I'm going to dig through all the community tab and find where you said that Kai, which it's Kai, not Key, it's Kai.
Oh,
I created Kai. You didn't create Kai, and
we've
you
got a guest.
What's up?
Hey, Larry.
Yo.
How you
What do you
doing?
mean, guest?
Well, I was trying to be polite. We got a fucker knocking on the back door. Is that better?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm a member of the original cast. So
That's
Did you bring us any kind of food or incentive for us to not kick you back out again? Sorry, I couldn't resist.
He is, by the way, folks, for those of you who are new to the stream, he is, in fact, an OG member of the cast. I was just giving him shit.
By the way, do you know who my favorite character is in The Lord of the Rings?
Galadriel?
Galadriel.
Galadriel?
Galadriel.
Is it because you like to shit on her?
Yeah.
I mean,
does he look like he's the German Scheisse?
I don't know. Do you like her because she's great for throwing darts at a picture of her? You know, some people love to hate.
It sounds to me like somebody just hates blondes.
Oh, I choked on that laugh a little bit.
No, you know the only character, ironically, who's even passably likable in that entire show, and it's ironic because she was basically shitting on fans the most. Disa and Durin were the only 2 likable characters. They actually had chemistry between them. All the other characters suck.
Well, let me get more detail. I mean the one from the movies, not from the show.
Oh, okay. No,
Oh, yeah.
cool. Yeah,
She's
yeah.
great.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. I thought you meant the
That's
one
Kate
from the
Blanchett.
show.
No,
She's a wonderful actress.
I was going to also ask, were you drunk while watching Rings of Power if you liked Galadriel?
No, I'm sorry, but half the characters in that cast looks like prophylactics with legs. So,
so hey, since we're on the topic and Shadow of Hawk brings it up, Amir is a good character in Theoden. My favorite Tolkien character is actually not in the Lord of the Rings, but from the Silmarillion. My favorite character is oh hell, now I can't remember his name. So I guess he's not my favorite after all. It's the great big damn dragon, the one that fell upon the Thangorodrim.
Smaug?
No, this one made Smaug look like a toenail.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Calagon the Black.
No, when I tried reading the Silmarillion, I was very young, and I got very, very bored. But I did read the books.
It's very dry. It's like reading the first 5 books of the Old Testament. It's very like this happened, this begat, and so on. It's very, very dry, and so you kind of got to go into it with that sort of mind, and it's really not something that like a little kid is going to have the patience for.
Yeah, though I agree with Shadow of Hawk. I loved Theoden King.
He's a great character. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I just was saying my personal favorite was, and a very short-lived character, mind you, So in the early days, Morgoth, Sauron was a servant of Morgoth, which they touch on a little bit in I guess this new show or whatever. Morgoth was the guy who made dragons a thing.
Oh.
And Calagon was the last great general of his dragons, his fire drakes, and he was said to be so big that he caused the sun to blot out. You know, he had wings, he breathed fire, he was massive. And I believe it was Eärendil who wielded one of the Silmarils in his hand in his flying boat and fought him for 24 hours straight, just blasting him with one of the Silmarils, which contained, you know, all of the power of the trees of Valinor. And that's what it took to kill this dragon. And when he fell, he landed on the peaks of the Thangarodrim, which was the 3 mountains that Morgoth's fortress Angband was built beneath, and crushed them under his weight. Big dragon.
Okay, that is cool. That's definitely cool.
Huge. Now, probably not quite as big as the paintings make him out to be. But yes.
The one that crushed 3 active volcanoes really makes you realize how weak third age stuff is when you think about how. Yeah, that's true. Smog was a challenge. If
Smog was small by comparison,
Yeah.
he wasn't even a mid-size fire drake, and the fire drakes were bigger than the cold drakes of the north, which were dragons, but they couldn't breathe fire.
Cool.
There's a lot of dragon stuff in there that never makes it into third age, because by the time we get to Smog, Smog is one of the last of them. There aren't that many left.
Yeah.
And the ones that are all live in the north, and he came down from the north when he invaded the Dwarven Halls and took over there. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And Calagon and Glaurung, the first of the dragons, who has a whole story of his own that kind of mimics the story in Norse mythology of the dragon Fafnir. They've got their own tales and everything, and all of that happened in the first age, which takes place even before the Rings of Power.
Wait, so whoa. You're telling me then what you're saying is in the history of the Lord of the Rings, Galadriel was not the most awesome thing ever, and that there were things better than Galadriel? Because my God, how can you say that?
They obviously don't talk about it too much because the people who are running the show probably don't want to bring this point up. But there's a god in the Lord of the Rings too. His name is Eru Ilúvatar, and he created everything.
But that would mean that something overshadows the amazing awesomeness that is the girl power Galadriel. Oh my God!
It sounds like you said the god was Louis Vuitton.
No, I did not say that. Although if God was going to make purses, I imagine they'd be of that quality.
I would not know. I do not have any purses.
No, Eru Ilúvatar.
So you're.
What?
I'm just like, so again, you're implying that there are very more important things than what we're seeing in the Rings of Power.
Oh yeah, Ungoliant could have kicked the shit out of Galadriel. She almost killed Morgoth.
Anyone could have kicked it.
In Valinor, the realm of the undying.
Honestly, a paper cut could have.
Right.
Hey, well, they killed an elf with basically what was like a paper cut on his neck. I mean, as Shad pointed out, the reason you die from a cut to your neck is because you bleed out. This guy had so little blood, there's no way he would have died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd heard that. I didn't watch Shad's video. I did watch him on Friday Night Tights and Flashcast. Did you see that Flashcast a couple weeks ago where he got into it with Lofty Pixels?
No, but I'm told it's no longer up. That's the problem. That it's only members only.
Go to a channel called Kurono. I'll send you a link to it here in a little bit. He archives all of the Flashcasts, so you can still find them. You just can't find them on Flash's channels.
Okay.
So Kurono downloads them, and then a couple days later he re-uploads them.
Okay.
So, and then he gives all credit to Flash and everybody who's on the panel and everything like that. He just archives it, and that way, if they get hit for anything, Flash
that makes sense.
In trouble. Yeah. So
the thing is just, I really like Shad's videos. Like they actually changed my opinion. Originally, I would have put the show at a 4 out of 10 or maybe a 2 out of 5 until I see Shad's videos. If you have. To anyone watching, if you have not seen the Night's Watch videos on Rings of Power, you have to watch them because Shad is an author, and he goes over them in detail. And it made me drop it down to a 1 star. And if I could, I would give it less than a 1 star, because he points out things that just really change your opinion on the whole thing to an even greater degree. Just how dumb it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to watch it. It's just, I'm about over Lord of the Rings anyway. And I'm no scholar. I'm not like, Gary. I don't have the same encyclopedic knowledge that he does of it. And I haven't read everything. Like just some guy, for example, has read everything Tolkien has ever put to pen and paper. All of his letters and missives and all of that stuff. I mean, the guy speaks fluent Elvish.
Yeah, no, I don't know either.
I'm not that far into it, but I do know a few things here and there. I did read most of the I did read the Silmarillion, the Unfinished Tales, and that sort of thing. And I've read the books, all the Lord of the Rings, 1, 2, and 3, and the Hobbit, and all of that stuff. Not everything the guy ever wrote, so I do know some things about it, but not a scholar. But I know enough to know where they're fucking up.
Yeah, no.
And I don't want to watch that, so I don't. I feel that if you are really, really want to punish yourself, go right ahead. But otherwise, I don't see the point.
I couldn't even finish episode 4 yesterday. It's so bad, and it's so depressingly bad, and it's just so boring.
Yeah.
I really, Shad is just really, one of the reasons why I really don't watch Friday Night Tights, and I should, is because I watch their individual videos. So to me, it's like it's going to be a repeat of everything. So I also really just like Shad, so I like his reviews of She-Hulk as well. But I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I am just, as I said, I could not get through episode 4 yesterday. I just could not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I haven't watched any. All I've ever seen of it are the clips that they show on the channels that cover it. And I don't even watch all of the channels that cover it. I do watch Friday Night Tights, though. I think that's it's not so much about the topics they're covering as it is about the personalities. They're a lot of fun. I like watching TNME for the same reason. And Flashcast because half the time they're drunk. There are a few others that I'm not as into. Like I don't really care much for the Jack show. I like some of the people on it, but I just, the format of that show typically is, hey, let's get drunk and say some really awful things about people.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
You mean like the other night when they were making fun of?
I did. You know what? I actually I got onto that and I started watching it, and yeah, I know what you're saying. I did see some of that, but and I didn't finish it because, like I said, the Jack show's not really my style.
I love Clownfish TV. I've been subscribed to Clownfish TV since they were under 30,000. I think they were at 25 or 23 when I first subscribed to Clownfish. I remember Neon at one point was going to the Star Wars themed section of Disney World, and he was live streaming from it before it was even finished. Like he was standing outside a gate, like a wall, pointing it out.
Yeah, and Clownfish does some good coverage work too.
The other one, a lot of people don't know about this one, a really good channel, and he covers a lot of various topics. Upper Echelon Gaming. I don't know if you've even heard of him, but
I've heard the name, but I'm not aware of the channel.
He's phenomenal because, well, first of all, he researches a lot of things, so it's not just gaming, but he really does his research. And in fact, recently he had people contacting him from CD Projekt Red, who did Cyberpunk 2077, and they were talking about what went wrong with Cyberpunk 2077, and he had several videos uncovering that. He said that he made several videos over a span of a couple of years about TikTok and how it's really bad. And one of them, he said that he had teachers contacting him, asking him about his sources and the information he was getting on TikTok, and they used it in their classrooms. He's really, really, really good, because if there's anyone who's a true journalist, it would be him. I highly recommend his videos. He goes into so much depth, and he just clearly does his homework. At one point he's like he should change it from Upper Echelon Gaming to just Upper Echelon, but he kept the gaming part. but as I said, not everything. A lot of what he covers. He was talking also about the whole thing where he was comparing microtransactions to what's happening with Tesla and how you can buy your car, and because software can hinder the ability of the battery, that they basically have microtransactions in Tesla cars where you pay another $2,000 to improve the reliability of your battery. So it's like it started with horse armor, and now it's going into battery reliability in electric vehicles, which makes me never want to buy an electric vehicle. I want to buy a 20-year-old car with a real engine and no computers in it. So I cannot recommend his channel more. Every time he doesn't come out with videos very often, but when he does, they're very, very, very good.
I might check them out. The problem is at this point I'm watching so many things per week, so many regular things per week that I do not have time to catch up with what's on YouTube, let alone like the Rings of Power. You know,
No, that's
and plus being involved in stuff like we do this here. I do an occasional other show on my own on here. There may be no promises, everybody, but there might be something else coming along those lines in the near future. It's just there's plus I help out on Amir's channel, and then I've got all the other stuff that I just watch because I want to, like Friday Night Tights, TNME, the Real BBC, that kind of thing. Occasionally Flashcast, although that usually runs live about the same time that traditionally Amira had been running her channel, so I usually caught that on Corona's archive. But which, by the way, I sent to your DMs was the link to his archive.
okay. All right, I didn't even open it. No, I get it. That's one of the other reasons why I often miss Friday Night Tights, because it is just so long. And it's like there's so much.
Well, I wasn't kidding last night when I said I had to get back to work. I was on a break at work. Like, I work into the evening my time. So and I still had another couple of hours to go. And so generally what I'll do is Friday Night Tights starts right about my lunchtime and will carry me through the rest of my Friday shift.
Ah.
So it works out for me. Sometimes I don't catch the very end, or I watch it the rest of it later or something like that. But most of the time I can get through almost that whole show while I'm working.
It's that long, yeah.
Just stick an earbud in my ear, that kind of thing. So a lot of this stuff I will listen to as I'm working my day job, kind of stuff. But Carrie says hi, Larry.
Hey, Carrie.
Hey, man, I appreciate that.
Cool.
I do. We love having you. All that. I am.
Well, I have a question because I saw that the 7 wand. Now, is that for 7 inches or 7 feet, or where's the 7 coming from?
You'd have to ask him. Carrie, you want to come on, or you want me to leave you backstage? I assume you're typing. I don't know. He'll let me know. Meantime,
okay. Back him for now. He's back him for now.
Yeah. All right. So, meantime, I was gonna Shadow Hawk brought something up that I thought was interesting. Now I gotta run back and. I'm sorry. It was Joshua Herpelsheimer. Sorry, Josh. I missed this when you first did that. First of all, I don't know if she is going on tonight or not. But if she does, I will mention it to her. Does that sound fair?
Wait, she had an interview. She interviewed Alex Jones?
No. Josh posted an interview of Alex Jones on her community.
Okay.
In her community page. So hopefully she talks about it tonight. I'll definitely make sure that she sees it.
I think Stratter had an interview with Alex Jones. I thought I saw an alert.
He did one for Ash Wednesday last week, or earlier.
And I've been wanting to watch it. I just haven't had a chance.
So, but yeah, and then The millimeter defeater. That's hilarious.
Oh God.
You know, I just, yeah. Moving on. We have become wonderfully off. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
See, Kawhi's laughing. Yeah, that's good.
I like that one too. So wait, Shadowhawk, have you seen my hat? I didn't show you my. Wait, no, I did show you my hat. I sent you a picture of my hat. I love this hat. There's only one.
Is it Gundam? Papa Gundam?
Nah,
No, that's not who you're talking about.
that's what he says on Royal Rumble. What?
Are you referring to something I said or something that someone else said?
No, I get what he's saying.
I got you. I got you. No. Not uncomfortable with it. Just my mother doesn't watch Royal Rumble, dude. She does watch this occasionally.
Wait, no, Joe, no. Look at Shadowhawk's early one. I'm going to be so sad to hear about upper echelon suicide by sniper round from 2 miles out. I didn't realize he had those kinds of. You know what? Given some of the things he brings up, yeah, I would be sad to hear about upper echelon suicide by sniper round from 2 miles because he really digs and he finds out stuff that
Oh, so
people
he's
don't
not.
want.
He's not dead though.
He's not, but
Okay, because that the way I read that sounded like he either was or was soon be.
he's
Like he was gonna
yeah.
get Clinton.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got Clinton simply because
Yeah.
he brings up some really like deep dives. He's a YouTube channel. I posted in the private.
Yeah, Carrie, it's in the link is in the private chat.
It's a really, really good YouTube channel. I mean, like I said, he doesn't come out with videos often, but he made one like TikTok is poisoning society, the dark side of Facebook, Amazon's $1 billion disaster. He really does some really good dig dive. I mean, he did industrialized medical fraud, big pharma. I haven't seen this one yet. Never guessed Nancy Pelosi's millions. No, he's really, really good, and he covers a whole bunch of stuff. So I can't recommend him enough. He's one of my by far favorite YouTube channels. One of the ones that immediately the moment he posts a video, immediately I watch it. Like bypass everything to see his videos.
Right. So for those of you, just because I believe in disclosure on all that stuff, who were not present for what I said in the chat yesterday, that apparently caused a number of panelists to blush and gag simultaneously. Was they were talking about apparently in the show She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, was going shopping for like quote unquote sexy clothes and couldn't find any to fit her because she's supposed to be a much larger woman than the average. And I said that I let him know my sister runs a lingerie and sex toy shop, and she could probably find something to fit Jennifer Walters, and possibly even vibrate that stick out of her ass.
He has the point. No, I mean, even though the advertising.
Hey, Samuel, you should stop telling people what your sister does because Kim Kardashian, according to her, Ray J put something up her behind while she was sleeping, and they might blame your sister for that.
Consent is important.
No, but maybe
if they're sleeping, they're not.
They're gonna want to know where he got it.
Yeah.
You should tweet that at Disney and tell them that there are many, many options for She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, given some of the advertisements we've seen on body positivity, how they claim that there's nothing that could fit her, because we've seen that there are many women out there who are much larger than She-Hulk for whom there's clothing for.
There's a particular item I was thinking when you say fit her that it brings to mind, and this is as gross as I'm gonna get this stream. It's called the ram bone. It's the length of my arm.
I think she needs that, given how big she gets.
It's the kind of thing where if you wanted to put like a unicorn horn on the hood of your car, this is the thing.
Hey, she might need it. I don't understand how she would enjoy being with someone when she is in She-Hulk form, given
how much larger she is than yeah.
I mean, I'm no expert, but you know what? You're sending me down avenues I really don't want to go down.
All right, we can stop talking about it.
Yeah, but just because we stop talking about it doesn't mean my brain that doesn't stop working.
It's the thing though. It's got like a molded ball sack at the one end that's like dense, right? Like a warhammer. Like you could actually like cave somebody's skull in with this thing. It's massive.
Hey, well, have you seen heard of what they did in Saints Row? They had apparently, I haven't played it. The original Saints Row games had one the size of a bat that you could beat people with.
Yeah, it was called the Penetrator. It was a Saints Row 3.
And apparently they got rid of it in the new game, which is one of the reasons why people aren't happy with the new game. Sucks. No one bought it. I can tell you, we had no pre-orders for that game. We maybe sold 3 copies.
I bet those copies were returned to a different store or something.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know somebody got it. It got like the free keychain apparently, and never came to pick it up, so they never even got their game. So I don't care what they say. It did not sell well. In fact, we had a pre-order for The Last of Us, the original Last of Us re-release for $70, and we had none for Saints Row. So.
I don't even know what the big deal is about this Saints Row game. I never played any of the other ones. Everybody's saying, "Oh, there's something really wrong with it," but nobody's explained to me what it is. Of course, I haven't asked.
I could explain. So I haven't played the original games. My understanding is they're kind of like a spin-off on a playoff on GTA, and they're meant to be. I mean, there's a baseball bat-sized dildo in the original ones. They're meant to be like. I mean, one of them's like God out of hell. It's like at one point he becomes president. These have become basically, imagine if Twitter were to barf up a bunch of characters who want to suddenly become a gangster gang, a criminal empire. And it's like they started with trying to buy a toaster oven or a waffle maker. And they're like, we want to start a criminal empire because we want to pay off our student loans.
So like actual Twitter then.
Yes, it's basically like if Twitter were to manifest itself in the form of video game characters. The best person, I think it was Skill Up, who said that the new Saints Row isn't the video game that gamers want. It's the game that the developers think gamers need, which is like, dude, it's an M-rated game.
Oh, so just crap then. That sounds like garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, the message being preached at you in GTA. So imagine GTA preaching a message at you about communism. Oh yeah, and communism is a part of, they want communism.
They talk trash about capitalism every chance they get. They make capitalism sound like the
well, they should be happy then they haven't sold any copies.
Yeah, you'd think. The main character looks like a total like nerd, kind of like, it's like, wait, this is supposed to be about like forming your own criminal empire, and it's like a bunch of Twitter nerds who just soy boy Twitter lunatics. It's just it got rid of what makes Saints Row. It's sort of like what they're doing with GTA 6, where it's like, we need to be more respectful. It's like the whole point of GTA 5 was to be as disrespectful, insulting, and oppressive as possible. And if you don't want that, then just don't buy it. But most people who bought GTA 5 expected that. I like GTA 5. God, King, Franklin.
Damn straight, Shadow of Hawk. Damn straight.
I played GTA 5, and every single person after I played it said, "Dear God, we are never going into a car with Cat." Look, it's called GTA. Isn't the whole point to go around stealing people's cars and running them over? Look.
Well, I mean, yeah, and also beating hookers to death to get your money back.
Well, I didn't get that far. That's the problem. I don't want to play the story. But everyone's telling me the only way I can get money to buy guns and beat people up and kill people is if I play the story. But I
Yeah.
don't want to waste my time playing the story.
I'm with you. The last time I played a GTA was also the first time. It was Grand Theft Auto 3, and all I did was go around stealing fire trucks so I could try and launch them off ramps as far as possible.
Hey, I impressed
That's all
my
I. That's
audience.
all I did.
I
Which, by the way, you can get them pretty far in the air.
Hey, no. You think that's cool? I actually impressed my live stream because I stole a bus and I had the police coming after me, and they're like, "Just don't even try. You're not going to get away from the police." And I managed to get away from the police, and one person was like, "I've never seen anybody do that." I managed to steal a freaking bus and get away from the police with it.
Well, Shadow, it's a little bit more complicated than that. They are in fact communists in ideology, but their economy, like all communist economies, was failing, and so they had to start adopting capitalist tenets into their economic practices in order to keep their country from collapsing in on itself. So they do have.
And it still is collapsing in
Yeah.
on itself.
Oh no, it's in
Yeah.
free fall right now. But so it's not like politically speaking, they are communists with concessions.
Did you hear about what's going on the news? How the Chinese government is going around to different countries and they're buying up property and opening illegal police centers, and from there they're hunting down Chinese people and quote encouraging them to go back to China under threat of something happening to their families or them even in that country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know a capitalist country that does that.
Yeah.
Hey, Thug McCoy, you don't want to know. You don't want to know how many people I also ran over with that bus. But it was a lot and it was fun because these peons in Los Santos don't acknowledge God King Franklin as their one and true leader. When I'm running around as God King Franklin, I expect all those peons to bow to God King Franklin, to walk out of their cars and give me their best cars and give me their guns. So you know what? As punishment, I rampage through their city, running them down.
Did you guys ever play Fable?
No, I might have actually.
I want the PC version of it. Yeah, it looks like it's really good.
No, it is. It's unfinished. Unfortunately, you want to get the extended DLC stuff because it actually helps complete the story. They released it rushed and unfinished, so the story's kind of like choppy. But the game itself is very fun. It's a very, and I'm talking about the first one, mind you. I don't think I played the second one, and I know I haven't played the third. But there's something that happens in it at the beginning. At the very beginning, you're just a young lad or lass in your village, and your village has chickens all over the place, and you are going to get one of two titles from the beginning of the game that will stick with you for the rest of the game, and other NPCs will refer to you to you as this as you visit their towns and villages.
Mm-hmm.
You're either going to get Chicken Chaser,
okay,
which is what happens anytime you come near a chicken. Like you do that enough times, like and that's inevitable. You can't not come near the chickens; they're freaking everywhere. You'll get saddled with Chicken Chaser, which I'm not sure is worse than the other one, which is if you kick one of them, which is an option, you get Chicken Kicker.
I prefer Chicken Kicker.
I do too, generally, but I generally choose the evil path anyway. But it's more fun. But it is funny because you can actually get an achievement for kicking a chicken past a certain distance, and the only way I've found to do that is to kick them off the pier because all of the distance between the surface of the water and the bottom of the lake counts.
Okay, I like the idea of kicking chickens off a pier.
Yep, punt the chicken kicker. Which reminds me, actually, there was a game called The Force Unleashed. It was a Star Wars game where you played Vader's Secret Apprentice. There is a trophy in that game called Sith Kicker.
You get kicked.
Which is a play on shit kicker. But the reason that it's Sith Kicker is because you go to Endor during one of the DLC parts, and you can kick Ewoks and bounce them off of the fucking trees.
Oh, now I want to play this game.
And it's hilarious, and it never ever gets old. You punt them. Anyway, if you do that 10 times, you become a Sith Kicker.
I like that. I want that. I mean, one of my favorite things to do in Destiny are the Thrall, which are like mindless Thrall, standing on a pedestal just above them, and they're screaming and clawing at me, and I'm standing above them just shooting at them because I just love to see them just getting so pissed.
Yeah, it's fun. So, guys, I think that probably wraps it up for today. Here in a little while, I need to go get ready to go do something in the real world. But I appreciate y'all coming out and hanging with us. We've seen some new faces in the chat that have been great. We hope you guys stick around. We've had a couple new subscribers today. Maester Chow had to duck out early, but check out his channel when he's got some stuff upcoming. Go subscribe to him anyway. That way you know when he's got stuff posting. Go subscribe to Kat at the Hijabi Gamer. She does some great live streams, and her rants are, as you now know, epic. Epic. Totally worth it. Larry, we also thank you for joining us. And is there anything you want to plug?
Not at this time.
Okay. Well, go sub to him anyway. So, that said, this has been a lot more fun and a lot less depressing than last time's. Last week's was not. The mood was somber, and that was largely my fault because I'm a dick.
No, it's something we needed to know. But let me just add, everyone, go on. If you're on Twitter, go to @PlayWarframe and say we want corpus dinosaur robots. I want them to make that canon. I want dinosaur robots, robot dinosaurs. And the only way is. What's going on? Oh yes.
Yeah, we're gonna close out the stream with the same video that we began it with. But before I launch into this and kick all of this off.
Oh no, are they making fun of Frost?
This is awesome.
Yes,
this is epic.
So we're gonna watch this real quick, and then we'll sign out. Just so everybody's got a chance who missed it earlier to see this. If you haven't gone to Friday Night Tights to Nerdrotic's channel, this is where this comes from. It's awesome. Everybody on the panel's awesome, and a lot of fun. So here we go.
Friday Night Tights. You're about to get frostbitten.
Get him!
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. All you geeks and gamers better stop jerking off to me, okay? I smell like burnt hair and Julie. That isn't stopping you. I fuck you. Started because I think you're all retarded. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. Frostbitten. Friday Night Tights.
Get him!
Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. I'll wait.
Do not come.
Oh man, I know Frost did not like that, and she's been in a bad mood all
I'm
week.
not qualified. Go ahead. Make my day. Call me Beaver Barbie.
Bitch, you're that goddamn ugly.
I jerked off to the dislike ratio.
I'm not nice to you.
No.
What in the heck did I just walk into?
Wow. People keep confusing me for prepubescent Justin Bieber. Someone in the chat called me Eminem.
You look like a boy.
Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. Frostbitten. Friday Night Tights. Frostbitten. Now press F if you're not jerking off. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. I'm standing up for all the women at G4. Emily, Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Pockets, Scissors, Tape Defense, and Filing Cabinet.
That's the filing cabinet. It gets me.
X-ray. She is a beautiful young Oriental. X-ray girl.
They me cock. Ask them the price of cock.
X-ray girl. You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Peace. Right now.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah, it makes me happy every time I see it. And don't worry, I will remember to plug the link and all of that in the description below, along with the links for everybody's channel who participated and some of the folks that we mentioned during the stream. Glad you could all join us. It's been a pretty good episode this week. I think everybody's enjoyed themselves. Glad to see everybody here. Hopefully we'll see you next week about the same bat time, same bat channel, all that good stuff. And remember, though we are here to be your dancing monkeys, YouTube, It could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras. Good night.